So hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel. So for this video, I will start introducing the absolute value. So in this playlist, I will cover introduction and also absolute value function, absolute value equations, so far and so forth. So when your teachers start introducing this topic to you guys, you may be familiar with this one, I think. So you will maybe think it's very easy topics because it requires only simple operations. So for example, if the absolute value of 5 equals to the number itself, right? But if you see there's a negative sign here, absolute value of -5 is not equals to -5. It's not equals to the number itself, but it equals to +5. So we need to drop the negative sign when we're dealing with the negative value, absolute value. So basically, why is that? So what is happening here? So basically that the absolute value function will represent it in the two stroke lines, and we have the number here, a. So absolute value of a means that the distance from the a value to the 0. So from a value to 0 in the numbered line. So basically, what is the absolute value of 5? So first thing I need to do is to pinpoint where is the 5. So the 5 is at the right side of 0. So assume this is the number 5, and I want to know what's the distance from 5 to 0. So distance from 5 to 0 give us 5. So that's why the absolute value of 5 equals to 5. And also -5. The absolute value of -5, so I need to pinpoint where's the -5. So -5 is at the left side of 0. So this one. So what is the distance between 0 to -5? So 0 to -5, the distance is also +5. So remember, the distance cannot be negative. It's a scalar value. So that's why the -5 to 0, we got the distance equals to 5. I'm going to move on to this topic, and this is the main topics I want to cover in this video. And I want to cover what is the absolute value of x. So absolute value of x, where x is a variable. And I'm asking if absolute value of x equals to the number itself. So I want to give you some time to think about this question. So please pause the video and think this question carefully, please. Please pay attention to the question. So x is a variable. So variable means that it's not a fixed number. The number, the x, can be vary from negative to positive. So which means that the x can be negative and x can be positive as well. So basically, I need to separate this into two cases to think about. So if you think that this one x is equal to x, you are thinking that the -5 absolute value is equal to -5. So this is not true. So because this is not true, I cannot assume that this statement is true. And I need to look for something else to capture the general solutions. So basically, what is the general formula for absolute value of x? So basically, I need to break down to two analyses for our answers. So case 1, we have when x is greater than 0, and I want to know what is the absolute value of x when x is greater than 0. So and also I need to look for when x less than 0, what is the absolute value of x. So in the first situation, I want to determine what is the absolute value of x when x is greater than 0. So basically, to answer this question, I need to set up the hypothesis. I want to make up some numbers for x. So x can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These are all positive numbers. So absolute value of 3 equals to 3. Absolute value of 5 equals to 5. So we see that the input is matched with the output here. So input matched with output here. So basically, if this is the x, I need to assume that the input and output must be matched, and absolute value of x is equals to x in the first situation. So this is only true when x is positive. So it's not true for negative values. So also I want to determine what is the absolute value of 0. So absolute value of 0 equals to 0. So you will see that the input and the output also match for this case. So that's why I need to capture the equals 0 as well. So for the second case here, we have x is less than 0. And what I want to determine is the absolute value of x when x is smaller than 0 or negative. So x less than 0, we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, something like this. So for the absolute value of -3 equals to 3. So basically what I do here is to put the negative sign here to cancel out the negative sign here in order to get the positive number, right? Do you see that? So for -5 absolute value also, right? I need to put the negative values here in order to cancel out the negative sign here. So that's why I got the +5 and +3 in these situations. So what is the absolute value of x when x is smaller than 0? So by conclusion, I need to put the negative sign here, right, to cancel out the negative value here. So that's why absolute value of x can also be equals to -x. And this is true only when x is less than 0. So absolute value of x is equals either x when x is greater or equal to 0. So this is coming from the first case situation. In the second case situation, I'm setting x is smaller than 0. So when x is smaller than 0, the absolute value of x is equals to -x. I need to put the negative sign here to cancel out, so we got the positive values. So this formula right here is known as the piecewise function. So I will cover the piecewise function in the next video for more details. So thank you for watching for this video.